everyone, welcome to Lady in the Red Bandana. Today I have a guest with me who has been a hairdresser for over 33 years. Her name is Joty and she is the owner of Love Hair Salon in Leicester. Hi Joty.
Hi, thank you for having me
doing?
on your podcast.
Oh,
Really well.
Good.
Really well.
Right, let's go for it. So let's tell the viewers and listeners a little bit about yourself.
So as you said, hi, I'm Joty. I'm from Leicester and I am a proud owner of a ladies home-based salon called Love Hair. I'm married with 4 children and yeah, you kind of said it for me really.
Cool.
Yeah,
that's great. No, that's good. So let us know a little bit about how you got started with hairdressing.
Right, okay, so I started off hairdressing, as you said, 33 years ago at the age of 16, coming on to 17. Wanted to do hairdressing academically. I thought, no, you know, although I was good at science and a few subjects, but creativity is within me. And I decided to go to college, but unfortunately at the time, back in 1987, college was a real big demand for hairdressing. And I decided, well, you know what, I'm not going to wait another year, so I might as well do a apprenticeship, like a youth training scheme at the time. And that worked out well, which enabled me to work in salon, in a small salon in Luton. But my training and my in salon training and experience was in a salon in central London, which was a real buzz because I thought, wow, this is amazing. You know, at the age of 17, I'm going to travel to London, and London, from Luton to London, it's not that far. So this was an amazing experience. So I, yeah, did that 2-year course and qualified as a hairdresser. Obviously, you build yourself up. And yeah, so I worked in many salons in Luton, which was my hometown. And also as I developed my experience and became more skilled in what I was doing, I then jumped on the bandwagon and went to work in London because that was my ideal place in central London. So I had a few jobs in different high-end salons and tried to work myself up into more of a session stylist and do behind the scenes. So did a lot of kind of work like that. And then hitting 27, I thought, well, you know, I was about to get married. I met my husband, who was actually from Leicester, which then meant, right, you know, I'm going to have to move to a different place altogether, start a new journey, start a new life. So I came to Leicester, gave up my job in London and everything. I got married and moved to Leicester, which was a big change for me. I had to adapt, I had to adjust. Lifestyle was different, moving in with an extended family, which was, you know, lovely and everything, but again, a different experience. At this stage, I thought, right, I need to find another, well, I've moved now, so I'm going to find a job in Leicester to carry on with my career, which I was passionate about. So I started off at a George's hair salon in London Road, and they initially that time were opening up a new salon on their Allendale Road branch. So I got the job there, and obviously with my senior level experience and background, I got the job straight away, and that's where I started. And at the same, well, about a year or so after, at the same time, sorry, getting this job, and I also was thinking of moving house, well, buying our first property actually. So yeah, I got this job on Allendale Road, and then decided, right, we're going to move, going to find somewhere a bit more closer. So we decided to move into Oadby in Leicester, and same time I fell pregnant with my first child. So this was kind of like, right, this is going to be really good. I've got a new job. I'm pregnant now, and going to move in, you know, buy a property. So yeah, everything kind of fell into sync. And after having my first child, obviously I went into onto maternity leave, but then I was going to go back to part-time, and the fact that, you know, I want to stay engaged in my job. So yeah, I carried on working at George's on Allendale Road. Family in Leicester helped, you know, my mother-in-law helped with childcare, so I carried on, and then I fell pregnant again, and again 9 months later I had my second child. Went part-time, and at this stage what I found is, because I kind of built a clientele within my area, it would be sort of Night and surrounding sort of affluent areas, because that's where George's was. I'd go out shopping and I'd see my clients and be like, oh, can you not do our hair at home? I'm like, oh, okay, not really, because I haven't got any sort of extra space. And obviously now, with having 2 toddlers at the time, I kind of thought, right, well, this could work. You know, what have I got to lose? Let me give it a shot. And I was also working part-time as well, again, as my little ones got, you know, a little bit older, and I felt confident and comfortable to work from home and work in the salon. So every time a client I bumped into in the supermarket or anywhere, I'd give them my number, and I thought, right, okay, fine, let's give this a shot. So what would that be? Would be my kitchen diner. I'd set up like a washable, wipeable floor vinyl, set up a mirror, my tools were there, and a foldable chair, and I washed their hair in the bathtub, over the bathtub. Now I'm thinking at this stage, okay, right, I am now going to be doing this and working part-time. Something's got to give. But I thought, no, I'm going to carry on, you know, because at the end of the day, I'm working part-time in the salon. Childcare is kind of handled as well from my mother-in-law, and then I could put them into sort of childcare, nursery as well. Let's juggle this out. Then I fell pregnant with my 3rd. So moving fast forward, after having my 3rd child, again, I had 3 children under the age of 4 years old. So I thought, right, things are going to have to give. What am I going to do? I was working still part-time now at the Oadby branch of George's Hair Salon. I wasn't really busy because I was only working 1 or 2 days, and children were sort of juggling between childcare and mother-in-law. So I thought, right, well, I'm literally doing 1 or 2 days in the salon. I'm not really busy because I was hardly even there. And I thought, right, well, something's going to give. So I ended up, between me and my ex-manager, we decided, look, let's give this a go. No hard feelings. I know I'm going to be busy at home because I've kind of built a base of a clientele. So yeah, I gave up my job at the salon, on the high street salon. And I thought, right, I need to put sheer focus on a home, working from home, which I did. So the little children around me, some were like 2, the younger ones were, the older one was at nursery, toddlers were like kind of at home with me. Clients would come in and wash their hair, but I'd had to make sure the house was spotlessly clean, dinner was cooked, prepped, everything, and snacks were made, and like, everything was organized and juggled. Clients would walk in and say, oh my God, you would not think you've got children, because I had to make it look professional, although they're coming to my house. And at this stage I thought, God, you know, I'm actually almost full-time working from home, and these lovely ladies are coming in, they're from a very high affluent background, pulling up in their high spec cars, but they're actually putting their bums on my seat in my dining room, yet they can pay somebody on the high street. So that's loyalty. And also I am doing a very good job, you know. They love what I do, hence they come to my house. They can go anywhere. So that was a real boost. So I think from the experience, it was just like, it got bigger and better. Okay, I probably could hear in conversation, not direct conversation with some of these clients. Some were indirect, but some were to the point, said, oh, you know, a lot of people would love to come to you, but they're not too keen on the fact that you got to wash over the bathtub. I thought, look, that's their choice. At the end of the day, you can come and wash your hair prior to coming to me. The choice is yours. But the minute that I've put my hands and done my magic on their hair, they've walked out feeling brilliant, you know. So it never stopped them coming back, you know. They always came back. They'd introduce their friends, recommend whatnot. So I carried on, and this was obviously, I went on for a good few years, and as the children obviously grew with that, and never disturbed me. They never a problem, you know. Clients felt comfortable, always praised that the children were really well behaved and everything. So that was, you know, something to be said. And then I think 8 years after, amongst having the 3 toddlers who were then now going to be staggering going into primary school, I then had I fell pregnant with my 4th child, and I thought, wow, you know, I'm going to have a 4th child. The 3 kids are now all at primary school. So I still carried on, again, juggled around my youngest, now with 4 children. It was probably about a year on, I carried on. And then my husband said, look, you know what, something's going to have to give. We're outgrowing the house. You're working the level you are. It's not fair on you or your clients and us as a family, because it's just uncomfort, you know. So let's look for another house. We need to find a bigger house. And at this stage now, I thought, right, well, I might as well go mobile. I then sort of went mobile in the process that we were looking for a property, looked around, and I was doing mobile hairdressing. So when we found the property we were looking for, which is at present right now where I'm at, the whole purpose and forward thinking was, if we find a property big enough, we have to, well, the choice will be to work from home and set up a room or whatnot. But my husband even said to me that don't get complacent and just do it in any room and then get used to that. We've got to do this professionally or you know, amongst planning. So yeah, so I carried on doing mobile hairdressing, went to people's houses, found that it wasted a lot of time, like, you know, juggling around traffic, getting to an appointment on time, but it worked. And this is what we did. Moved here into this house, converted the garage into, well, part of the garage into a hair salon, and this is the way I work. This is like a, you know, almost an experience from bathtub. I've got now a sink. I've got a professional sort of salon from home, and I love it. Absolutely love it. And clients come, you know, so the clients that are still existing from the other way I worked obviously see that I've moved, you know, moved ahead and moved forward and succeeded in what I wanted to have done at the time, but obviously couldn't afford it. But here I am, you know, and have an established, successful business. So yeah, this is what I do. Passionate about it.
Well, you definitely are, because the way you talk about it is just like you're beaming when you talk about hairdressing and what you do and everything is great. So obviously from 16 to now is a while, and you've had so many experiences within that. But let's talk about when you first started doing hairdressing. I just want to know why did you get into it?
Wow. Okay. So for me, hairdressing was, again, I think it stems back from both my mum and dad, very creative. My dad was very creative, mum was as well. We just have an artistic flair within us. But at school, I thought almost like I wasn't very academic. I loved art. I like the whole creative side of everything, right? So something within me was always instilled. I love hair. Used to do my sister's hair, hairstyles and all sorts, and to the point where I even practiced cutting their hair. Oh my God, if you saw some photos of us when we were younger, it's mortifying that thinking, is that what you did? Is that what you look like? We look good, it looked trendy, but hairdressing was something I always wanted to do. But when I told my parents, they were like, no, it's not the done thing. Being in the society and community of Indian people, Indian girls, that's not what you do. You know, our families want us to be highly educated, highly successful.
Doctors and dentists.
Yeah, so, oh no, I don't want to do that. Although I was very good at science, art, English, I was a failure at maths, but I knew in hairdressing you needed science and you needed art. So I've got that within me. So that's what I'm going to do. And I went against my mum and dad, well, not in a bad way. It wasn't a bad thing that's what they instilled, that you have to go to university. But I just didn't want to. Academically, I did not want to study. This is what I want to do, hairdressing, and that's what I'm going to do. And that's what I did. I applied, and mum and dad kind of frowned upon it. But you know what? Right now, you know, this is got me.
You're reaping the rewards now, aren't you? And it almost, sometimes we have to go through that. We have to go, people saying, you know what, you have to, this is something that I got from mum actually, is you've got to go with your gut feeling at the time. And it is really hard. Obviously, I'm of the generation that have been given basically everything from my parents, and I'm not spoiled, but I've been allowed to do so much more than my parents did. You know, even like going out and all that sort of thing, you know, mum just used to say, yeah, just go. Whereas I know from mum's generation, from, you know, yourself, your generation,
myself,
it's very different. It was very different back then. So, you know,
very much. And you're absolutely right. You know, like your mum has probably told you, me and your mum are probably similar in age. And experience wise, I I can say I was quite lucky in comparison to a lot of other girls from my era, that I went out, you know, me, my sisters, my bunch of friends, you know, it might have been a frowned upon, but you know what, my experience and my journey growing up to where I'm at, I don't, you know, regret the fact that we went out partying and that we were all very sensible. Come on, we all drink and, you know, have a good time, but in a sensible manner. We all looked out for each other. We didn't do anything really rebellious in that sense, where we want to put our parents, you know,
To
well, we got
shame.
told off by our parents, but it didn't stop us from going out. But it's from experience, it's your journey, and this is where you're at. You know, at the end of the day, regardless of wherever, however your journey was, you've just got to take it as it was a learning curve. And hairdressing was something I wanted to do, and here I am, you know. But yeah, it was tough, because I think as well, in that generation, that era, it was the thing of, yeah, you're going to get married, you've got to get married and you've got to settle down. Once you get married, you do what you like. But it doesn't work like that, because you're not a single independent female, then you have got your husband and extended family, so that changes. It's not about you when you're living at home as an independent single female, single person. Yeah, you've got your parents to answer to, but then you're still on your own, kind of thing. You just do what you can't come and you don't get married and live with extended family and do what you like, because it's a different kind of ball game. So that's an experience and an adaptation, an adjustment in itself. So yeah.
But you've paved, so your generation, mum's generation, obviously the generations before mine as well, have paved the way for, again, my generation to do what we are able to do now. Because
Sure.
like you say, it wasn't seen as the right thing to do, of like going out. I mean, that's something that, I mean, I'm missing it so much right now.
Yeah.
But, you know, going out to concerts, going out to nightclub, not I go to nightclubs or anything, but to pubs or anything like that was probably seen as not really the thing to do. Hairdressing,
No.
beauty, not seen as the right
No
thing
way.
for a good Indian, Asian girl to be doing.
Exactly.
You know, it's, so you paved that way for all of us
Yeah,
to do what we
of
are able
course.
to do now, which is an
Yeah, but
amazing thing to say that you've
yeah.
done.
Sorry.
It's an amazing thing to say that you've done, you know. You might
Yeah.
not, and I think because you've just been through it, it's created strength within you all.
Yeah.
And so any knockbacks that you get now, you can be like, right, okay, let's just deal with it, let's just get over it. Whereas somebody like me, I have been given quite a lot, and I know I'm very lucky, but for me, if I get knocked back, I'm like, oh no, I can't handle this. What do I do? Obviously, I'm in my 30s now, and I'm a little bit stronger than I used to be in my 20s. But you know, like yourself, you had, you know, 4 young children to deal with, as well as having to sort a house out, sort your business out. I mean, that doesn't really happen very much nowadays. It's very much, you know, I'm married and we've got a house, but I don't have kids to look after. I work for my mum. I know I run it for her as well, but it's very, very different. You have done so much in, like I say, paving the way for the next generations to be happy and safe and do whatever they want to do. And especially, like, as I say, as an Indian girl, it's difficult. So I get that. Now let's talk a bit about work with you. How do you feel empowered by your work and your knowledge?
Right, in regards to my work, I mean, education doesn't stop. Education within my hairdressing and yourself being in beauty, there is always a vast amount to learn. You know, it's always ongoing. The choice is yours. You know, for me, I find that I can learn or I can stop, you know, carry on and just plod along. But I almost choose to sort of learn. Yeah, I have times when I just plod, and because I'm good at what I do and I just enjoy it and just carry on. But there's so much out there, and you know, I do engage in new techniques and new ventures and stuff, products, and the knowledge that I do have, I educate myself, or go on courses, or you know, read up on things and share that knowledge with my clients. And at the moment, to me, I find that because obviously not being able to work due to the lockdown, I've engaged in a lot of education, not so much the practical stuff, although I still need to get the dolly head out and practice techniques, but that will come, you know, because with me, I always pick up from where I left off, which is fine. But in regards to knowledge of like product knowledge and whatnot, I'm really like engaged in that. And I'm actually, over this lockdown period, I've kind of talking to clients, new people, like just engaging in a lot of conversation with people and teaching them how to actually use products the right way, efficiently. Yeah, you know, people don't know how to use hair and shampoo and conditioner. Simple as that, right? Properly, they'll waste a lot of product. Or finding the right products in terms of premium ranges products. You know, people, you know, it's a common practice. You go online, you search, you Google, whatnot, but nobody's there to tell you what is good or what is bad for your hair. You go to the supermarket, high street aisles, and nobody's there to say, right, this is good for your hair, buy this. There's a multitude of products. Whereas people like myself and yourself, because we work in that industry, we have knowledge, we know what we use. I mean, I like to use what I feel is good. I wouldn't just recommend something to somebody just for the sake of selling it. If I'm gonna, I like it, I use it, it's good for the environment and for your, more so for your hair, that's what I'll use, and that is what I will recommend. So that's my knowledge, and I love sharing that with clients, you know, because at the end of the day, they come to have their hair done, you've washed their hair, it's an experience. Yeah. Everybody loves getting their hair washed. There's very, very few people that hate it.
Yeah, I love it. I miss it so much.
Because it's an experience, you know.
Yeah.
It's so relaxing. So when you're using nice luxury products, not only smell, feel, texture is so important. You've cut their hair, you styled it, and their hair and everything feels good. So why not educate them in what I'm using, and more so buy from us? You know, we're small businesses, support the businesses. So you know, it's really nice to sort of be able to do that and share that knowledge with the clients, because that's what, you know, I embrace myself in learning. It's always learning, and I feel happy to sort of share that knowledge with a lot of people.
It shows your passion for it though as well. So
Yeah,
and I'm sure you probably do the same as me. Well, you might not do it as extreme as I do, but when these adverts come on the TV about like hair dye, and some celebrity is using some at-home hair dye, or they're using some sort of product on their face that's going to make them look younger in 5 minutes or something like that, I'm always shouting at the TV thinking, this is not right. They shouldn't be advertising it like this, because it's not correct. I always would say to every single one of my clients, and I will say to people who talk to me, you need to see it doesn't matter who it is, but go and see a professional.
absolutely.
Go and see someone who is well educated in that subject, in that area, somebody who's passionate about it, and somebody who uses the products themselves.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Like you say, with your skincare, you know, that's what you use, that's what you're using on your client. So why not go and see you, and you allow you to use your knowledge and share it with that client to say, right, this is what, you know, and at the end of the day, it's supporting you, you know, because that's what you're educated in, that's what you're trained in, that's what you're, again, passionate about. You know, you're not, to me, again, with commercial TV commercials and whatnot, they can only elaborate on what they want to sell. It's a consumer thing, you know. Go to the supermarket, you know, like when you could do somebody's facial, they absolutely love it, they feel great, they'll go think, well, actually, you know what, I've run out of moisturizer, okay, on my way home I'll just pop into a high street store and just pick up something, where they could have bought it from you.
Yeah, it's just madness, isn't it?
Yeah.
Especially, again, it comes through education, it comes through learning, but it's about the results that we get with our clients is the thing that we love, right? That's what we obviously we all work for a living, and that is the main thing that we will do it for, because we want to have a nice life and do nice things. But the big thing that we get out of it, and I think you're the same, is the results from your clients. The smile absolutely. That when they leave your salon and when they want to rebook again, that is such a nice feeling, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And you know what, again, in beauty and hair, it's a luxury. It's a luxury, you know, it's not just a chore, you know. You can go for certain appointments and absolutely be petrified. You wouldn't go to, well, some people get scared about going to hairdressers, but
Yeah.
if you're comfortable with your hairdresser, your beautician, it's a luxury, because you are going in there, you're going to sit down or you're going to lie down when you're going to the beauty therapist, but you're going to, you know, talking from me as a hairdresser and coming to the salon, you're going to sit down and you're going to park yourself in the seat and you are going to feel relaxed. You know, I've had clients walk in, I've never met them, they've been recommended through so and so, or word of mouth, yeah, they've come here and they walk through my door and they've literally have spoke their life, and you think, oh my god, I don't even know you, forget talking about the hair, everything, and like, wow, it's like, oh my god, I've never told anybody this. I'm like, it's okay, you know, look, it's said in here, stays in here, you know, and that's the comfort and the trust that people you know, have. And again, that's another thing, you know, it's not just about doing their hair. Even before you start their hair, you know, and you have a consultation, you're having a conversation, they can tell you their darkest secret, or, you know, you become not only a hairdresser, you know, should I say, I don't become a hairdresser, I become almost a therapist, a counselor, and I'm like, I'm not even trained in any of this, but something within me is able to make them feel, it's almost like a soundboard,
Yeah,
you know.
absolutely.
You know, and I'm sure you're the same, you know, like coming to your cabin, you know, Sheila's cabin, it's, you know, I've seen pictures, I've spoken to your mom so many times, I've seen pictures, and it's so tranquil, you know, it's almost like, oh, sigh of relief, you know,
Yeah,
it's just like,
and
go there, let it all relax. And
I think that's one thing that's come out of lockdown and us not being able to work as well, is the amount people appreciate their hairdresser, the amount people appreciate their skin therapist, because they don't realize how important they are, because they come to you every 4 weeks, 6 weeks, 8 weeks, whatever, they come to you, they rebook their appointment, that's their normal routine. But once that's taken away, it's like, what? I can't have my hair done. I've got my grays. What about the colour? What about my cut? And I mean, honestly, Rob's hair at the moment is ridiculous. It's like down to here. And I'm just like, this, you know, you do not understand how much it, not having your hair done, and especially because I'm not a massive fan of going to the hairdressers, but I know that shocks some people, but it makes me think too much, because I'm thinking, oh, I hope they don't think that I'm talking too much, and I hope they don't think I'm talking too much about myself. But that's only because I'm on the other side of it when I'm at work. And so I just get myself stressed about it for no reason. But anyway, that's another thing. But it's like, you do not realize how much you look in the mirror and you think, oh, I love my hair when it's been done. I love it when it feels nice and clean, and it feels like, and it's different. It's so different from washing it and doing it yourself to going to a hairdresser and having a professional do it for you. So I bet you know that so many clients will have missed you.
Oh my god, inundated when those announcements happen, and you think, oh my god, I get scared to look at my phone, and because I just think, oh my god, you know what, brace yourself, because, you know, we will be opening, you'll get your hair done, and it's quite overwhelming. But, you know, I just think, you know, like how you said, oh, you know, if you go to the hairdressers and you think, oh my god, I talk too much, but it's about you. That appointment is about you. I mean, if you came to see me and to have your hair done, I waffled on about myself, you're going to think, oh, okay, you shouldn't even listen to me.
Yeah.
No, sometimes I think, you know, sometimes clients say to me, oh, so tell me what's new. I'm like, what can I tell you?
Yeah, you know everything.
Oh, I've made so much food and I've cooked this, that, the other. But no, you know, this appointment's about you, your hair. Let's discuss. But then if you want to go on a different discussion, I'm happy to listen to what you got to tell me, and share your stories and whatever. And, you know, it works. But no, you go to the hairdressers, you talk about whatever you want to talk about.
Next time I do it, I'm just going to like talk about me the whole time. So, right, let's talk a bit about you now. We've talked about looking after everyone else, because that is what you're good at. That is your speciality. I know it is. But we need to talk a little bit about you. And I know, as a hairdresser and as a beauty therapist, it's the hardest thing talking about yourself. But you have to look after yourself, surely, because you've got to take the same advice as you would give to your clients. So what do you do to look after yourself?
Right. So for me to rock up every day on a normal basis that there's no lockdown, for me, exercise and well, it's a multitude of things, right? So for me, if um, exercise is a key in terms of, even if it means walking to school, taking the children to school, walking back, doing that extra walk around in my area, um, all forms of exercise, do kettlebells. I've from a very young age, I've always done aerobics. Me, my sister, my friends. So from a young age, always. I love dancing, but for the now, always had, like I say, exercise has been instilled. I love walking and doing weights and things like that. Body shape changed after having 4 children, so I had to kind of like work with that. Try to lose the weight and be in shape, but more so I think it's the inner health and fitness, and also to rock up an every day and feeling good is healthy, nutritious food. I am a real foodie. I love cooking. I can spend a whole day in the salon working full on day, and back to back with clients. Doesn't matter what time I finish, I would go in the kitchen without a huff and a puff and cook food. I've got family to feed. It's not just about myself. Yeah. My husband helps a lot in terms of prepping and whatnot, but I'm particular about cooking and what we eat. And it's not diet food, it's healthy, nutritious food, tasty, wholesome food. But that for me is important. Healthy eating, a good diet, an intake of good food, nutritious. I'm not into buying jars. Nothing in my house is a jar or a tin except tomato tins or passata. Everything is, I don't do dolmios and God knows rude pasta sauces, because what for me, if I go shopping and I want to buy or make something different, I look at the ingredients in the back of the jar, and I know guaranteed I have those ingredients, put it together. I don't use stock cubes because all those herbs, and I have combined them, and you can create your own flavors and sauces and that. So for me, cooking and exercise, drinking lots of water is so important, to keep, we all have blip days, eating the wrong kind of foods and stuff, and it makes you feel sluggish. So you think, okay, I've had a cheat day. Okay, tomorrow I'm not going to eat what I did yesterday, and make it a bad habit. So for me, healthy eating and exercise is key, and drinking loads of water. First thing in the morning for me is hot water, and not even breakfast. I don't have breakfast till probably about 10ish if I do. And by then, if I've got a client at the time, I will scoff porridge down in between while I've come to make them a cup of coffee. But yeah, that's how it works for me. And using good hair products. At the moment, I haven't dyed my hair because I'm just supporting my clients in the background, thinking, right, I've got a salon, but it doesn't mean I'm going to just do my hair all the time. But it's fine. I need a break from hair dyes and stuff like that, but I've still got the products that I can keep it in conditioned and maintained, and restructure it, get the products in it. And this is the time where we can look after ourselves as well. So when we are back working, we need to get back into it because it is going to be busy.
I agree with you wholeheartedly. Nutritious food, it doesn't have to be diet food, does it? This is
There's no. Yeah, like you said, it doesn't have to be diet food, and there is no such thing as a diet. What's a diet? A diet is what you eat. At the end of the day, you make the choices. You either eat healthy or you don't.
Yeah.
If your diet it consists of sticking food in the oven, then that's your choice. But if your choice of diet is cooking the food from scratch, and you know exactly what's gone into it, that's your choice.
Yeah.
But I'm not into these fad diets and stuff like that, where because the thing is, you can do a certain diet and then come a certain time after you think, well, actually, I've done that now, and then
you go back to normal. It's never routine, is it? So yeah,
no,
I completely agree with that.
It's a lifestyle change, isn't it?
Yeah, it is a lifestyle change, and it has to be a big change for you to be able to reap the benefits. So
sure.
Right, we've started talking about other people again, so we need to start talking about you. Right, so with our journeys that we all go on in through life, I said I'm in my 30s, so I'm hoping I've got like a few more years left to go, but obviously we're always learning every day, as you've already said. It's always education, there's always knowledge to be learned. There's just, you're always forever learning in your life. What would you say would be a low point in your life? And I don't mean a low point as in a negative, but something that that's helped you learn to be the way that you are now.
For me, what picks me up is the way my mum and dad, like from a young age, my dad was, was disabled, and my mum never turned back and thought, oh my God, my life is turmoiled due to the fact that my father became disabled, had a major stroke. Me, my brother, and my sister, we were very, very young, and grew up with my dad as a disabled father. Never really understood him, but life went on. My mum always was my dad's rock, and always with a smile on her face. So for me, a low point, I think, to me is, there is no low point. You pick yourself up. Mum did it. She never looked back and had okay, she had a sad moment, but you know what, it wasn't a big deal. It wasn't like she'd just like fall apart. It was always a pick me up, smile on the face. And for me, I think, what, my mum's had it tough. There are other people out there that have had it worse or tougher, but you pick yourself up in the sense, that you've got everything you can live for. You've got a roof under your head, you've got an amazing family, you've got eyes, you've got ears, you can walk, talk, everything, get on with it, kind of thing. So, having a low point, you think of all the, at the moment, it's not a negative where you look at that and you dwell on it. You actually think on the positive side of it, and you kind of turn it around and reflect. So that's, for me, is always a pick me up, and just thinking of my mum as always a smile on her face, and nothing phases her. Always a people's person. Again, I'm talking about my mum now, but for me, it is. That's the way it is. Because at the end of the day, for me, if I was, as a mother, as a wife, as a woman, I'm in the household, so like, I play a big part in my house, and if I was miserable or upset or down, it would reap onto my children, into my house. The energies would be quite low. No, and that's not me. I'm a real busy, buzzy, loud laugh, have a good laugh with my children and whatnot, and that's the way they see me, and that's the way I am, happy-go-lucky.
And I think that's really important, that you've taken that strength from your mum, essentially.
Yeah.
And you see that she's gone through quite a lot in her life, and we're all allowed to have those days, of course, where we just feel rubbish and just it is. But you've got children, you've got a husband, and yourself. You want to do it for yourself. You have to pick yourself up, and your business. So, and that's what your world is, isn't it, essentially? And then like you said, you've got roof over your head, food on your plate. What more can you ask?
Exactly.
There's nothing more to ask for, is there?
Yeah. And also the fact that, with my dad, for 40 years had a disability, he had a stroke, but prior to that, I knew for a fact that my dad was thriving. He was a jack of all trades, and but it never stopped him from working. He had a major disability, major trauma when he became disabled, but it never stopped him from working. My mum's push and shove, and I just think to myself, wow, my dad did what he did. He wasn't able, although he was disabled, but he wasn't able to do a lot of stuff. But mum and dad got to where they were. Unfortunately, my dad passed away 2 years ago, and knowing that and understanding my dad, since he's gone, and passed, but he's left his strength and his energy amongst me, to think to myself, God, you know what? I feel more stronger now than I ever did. And that is from my dad's energy, to thinking, he wasn't able, he was not business minded, but he never stopped me from setting up this business and, working the way I am, hard working at the end of the day. And that's what was implemented from both mum and dad. Nothing, it doesn't matter. You fall apart, you still pick yourself up. It's like, okay, we do all have days when we're feeling down in the dumps, but, pick yourself up. You can. Yeah, we all have to have rest, but you know.
But you've got a support network, which is really quite positive as well. Your family are
Yeah,
quite positive with you. And I think as long as you've got that around you, then there is, it's hard to say, isn't it? Because obviously mental health is a huge thing at the moment. And
yeah,
it's one of those things where I think I don't want to tell people like to suck eggs or anything like that, but it's sometimes it's not easy just to get on with it and get over it, but it's the support network you have behind you that can help you to get to the position where you are. You might not be able to do it yourself sometimes, but it's that support network that help you.
yeah, definitely. And I'm sure with your mum as well, your family, it's the support that gets us going, keeps us going. And like you said, the difference between us being brought up to the way you are, it's a big difference.
So what is the one thing that makes you happy? If you could pick one thing that you could keep forever to keep making you happy, what is it?
Would this be about myself now, or could it be
Yeah,
anything?
about you. This is about you.
Just keep smiling. Keep smiling. You know, have a happy inner self. Yeah. You know, override the negative in your head. We all talk to ourselves in our head. Yeah. We always have this conversation of the good and the bad, but always overcome the bad with the good, and you know, see things differently. You know, just change the perspective, and you know, you'll rock up every day of, you know, with a smile.
Yeah, that's good. I
Absolute
like
smile.
that. That's really nice thing to say. And it's good for people to hear it as well, because sometimes just if you walk around with a frown on your face all day, that's how you're going to feel, and that's the sort of people you'll radiate towards you.
Yeah.
If you know this, as when you're treating your clients and things, if you were sad all day, you would forever just have sad clients coming in. And it's
Yeah.
weird how the energy, how the universe makes that happen, because that I believe
Yeah.
in that, and I believe that the universe just throws at you what you throw back at it. So
Absolutely.
so if you don't smile, then you're not going to get anyone that's smiling coming to
Yeah.
you.
I mean, yeah, exactly. So you open the door, like when you greet your clients, whether it be on the phone, but you know, when you open the door to your clients, hi, how are you? You know, and that utmost energy is literally just thrown at them. And even if they've walked in, they've left their house or wherever they've come from, like, oh, you know, they've sat in traffic all this time, and then the minute you walk in, it takes away their mood, doesn't it? It takes
Yeah, it
away
does.
that absolute negative, because they think, oh my God, she's in a good mood, right? Oh, thank God somebody's happy. You know, so that's what you attract. You
But that's a
know,
lot to do with our job as well. I think you learn that from I've been doing beauty for 12 years now, so nowhere near as long as obviously you and mum have been in the
yeah,
industry. But you know, that's something that I've learned, that it's not to number one is not to take on people's energy, and
yeah,
number two is just to radiate happiness, because
yeah,
whatever you give to them, they'll throw back at you as well. Thank you so
yeah.
much, Joty. It's been really nice speaking with you. Thank you for being on the show. Is there anything else you'd like to say?
No, I absolutely appreciate you actually inviting me to your show, and saying and talking about myself, and enjoy the conversation with you as well. Thank you. Thank
You're
you.
very welcome.
Drinking a lot of water, eating good, nutritious food. You know, like I said, explained earlier, that, you know, what you eat is what you are, basically. Well, I'm not saying, you know, you'd be a donut if you were a donut.
Well, you would. That's the thing. If you ate loads of donuts, you would.
Yeah,
That's so funny. Sorry, Gary. Right, you carry on. Sorry.
okay, yeah. Eating good, healthy, nutritious food, drinking plenty of water, exercise. Another one would be exercise, even if it's this, you know, the simplest of walk around your area in your block. You know, exercise is key. And thirdly, I'd say laugh with your family, laugh with your children, and that's energy. You know, have a good laugh. You know, and there is nothing wrong with smiling at somebody, saying good morning, good afternoon, good day. Even if you're walking down the road, your children come home from my children come home from school, or you know, in the morning, greet with a happy face, with a smile. You know, and that would make anybody's day. If not, it'll make your own day. You know, so yeah, I think they're the three good things that I could implement out there. And
That's
yeah,
perfect.
my dad's motto was actually, sorry, is don't worry, be happy. And that's what I live by.
We have been the lady in the red bandana, and we want you to be empowered to believe in yourself.